Hey everyone, what's up? My name's Nasir and welcome back to my channel. I'm trying so hard not to move because my chair loves to be squeaky for some reason. So sorry if that happens. So yeah, today we are here to talk about the very important yet very dreaded question of what the hell should I do after high school and or college? For the most part, for our high school people, all of these options will be applicable to you except for the ones where you would need a degree. And then for all of my college folks, I'm sure time after time a lot of your professors or maybe your parents have asked you if you wanted to go to grad school. If you do, that is fantastic. Please go to grad school if you know what you want to do with your life. But the reality is that after you graduate college, for the most part, there's so much to explore and there's so many things to dip your toes into, and what you feel like you might want to do at the age of 21 may change at the age of 24. But obviously it's different if you're someone who's like, hey, I want to go to med school and I want to be a doctor. But for the other people who want to explore a bit, maybe grad school is not the best option just to jump into, because it's like, yo, you just finished 4 years of school. Like, to do an intense extra 2 to 3 years can be a lot. So here are some other options for things that you can do right after college. Option 1 is work at a hostel. So actually this is what I did. I graduated in 2018. I went back to my hometown in Connecticut, worked for a few months, saved up some money, and then I was like, yeah, I'm heading out, I'm going to Spain, and I'm gonna go work at a hostel. So I use this website called Workaway. This is not sponsored at all, but I use a website called Workaway, and it's a pretty chill website. You just go on, you type in the place you wanna go and what kind of work you wanna do, and they match you with the different hosts. And once you find your host, you can apply to be a volunteer, and usually they get back to you within a few weeks. So on that site, you can find hostel gigs, you could find like bartending gigs abroad, you can find sheep herding gigs, whatever your little heart desires, you can find. So that's what I did. I worked at a hostel for 2 months. And I will say, in addition to Workaway, there's another website called Worldpackers. I've never used it, but I hear great things about it. But I will say, honestly, like, working at a hostel was such an amazing experience. It was so chill, like everyone was cool, I met amazing people, and my day-to-day was so simple. Like, I'd wake up maybe at like 8 o'clock, and then from 9 to 11 I would set out breakfast, which was literally just like making sure there was hot water for the tea and that the coffee was made, and just putting out some crackers for people. And then after that I had a break for about 2 hours, and then I would give a tour, and usually I would only give a tour maybe once or twice a week. And then after that, depending on which shift I had, I could also run the pub crawl, and that was so dope. Like so dope, just to like get out and meet all the people who were in the hostel with you, and just to take them out and show them around the town. So if you feel like you're the kind of person and you wanted to like step into tourism and you wanted to get into like the tour guide kind of mentality and vibe, working at a hostel might be for you. Obviously, right now, because of COVID, we have no idea what's going on, but this is an option if you happen to have access to the vaccine in the future and certain countries begin to open up, because I don't know how long the tourism industry can be shut, to be completely honest. So yes, definitely check out working at a hostel. Another thing that a lot of university students do after graduating is going to teach English abroad. Actually, my friend and I, Rafaela, did a video on the program called TAPEEF. It's like the teaching assistant program in France, which I'll link up here. You can check that out. But yeah, my friend Rafaela, she went to France for about 7 or 8 months, and she only worked about 12 hours a week, and she worked at like a local school in a rural part of France teaching the children English. So if that's your vibe, that's definitely something you can look into. And the whole realm of teaching English abroad is so diverse and so vast. So you have TAPEEF, you have, there's Auxiliares de Conversación in Spain, which is the equivalent to the French program, but in Spain. So you just, you know, go teach English, Madrid, Malaga, whatever part of Spain. There's also the JET program, which is teaching English in Japan, which is really exciting. And there are also some really other cool programs that are in China and all around the world. Most of my friends who taught English abroad truly had a great time. It was an amazing experience for them to not only practice their target language, but to also get some teaching experience. So if one day you do want to go into grad school, or one day you do want to apply for a job that requires you to have teaching experience, you might want to go teach abroad after university, because they're always looking for college students. So it's easy to get in and you get your experience, and honestly sometimes you can become a career teacher, in the sense of those are the people who would, you know, go teach English in Japan after college for 1 year, but then find themselves there for 5 or 6 years. That could be you. And that's also a perfect way to get out and to be able to travel a little bit and learn about other cultures, which is really, really exciting. Another option is checking out the working holiday visas. Because of COVID, we do not know what's gonna happen or if this program's gonna open back up, but hopefully, if the United States gets their stuff together, this program will open back up, which is pretty cool. For people with US passports, these are just a few of the places you can go with the working holiday visa, but you can get one for Australia. You can apply to the program there, and I believe you get about 12 months of just working at a gig in Australia. So if you always, you know, say you were a barista in college and you're like, hey, well, I want to go to Australia and meet some cute people and live the life, you could apply for the working holiday visa, and once you get it, you could actually get a job in Sydney or Melbourne or any other city, which is pretty cool. Another option is New Zealand. Just like Australia, New Zealand offer the working holiday visa, TBD, to be determined. We will see what happens. And also Singapore, which is really cool. So if you wanted to kind of get some more work experience, but more so in like the non-corporate field, the working holiday visa, depending on the country, might be a good fit for you. So you should check that out. But also, once again, don't hold me to it, because we're not sure if borders will be open this summer when you graduate, but hopefully they will. We will wish for the best. Another massive option for things to do after university is applying for a fellowship. There's this fantastic website called ProFellow. Also, I have a really awesome pal. Her name's Sojo. I'll link her below. She has a blog that's all about her experience doing fellowships and you know, post-grad opportunities, which is really cool. But yeah, so fellowships are a great way for you to essentially get money and get funded to do what you want to do, which is so exciting. So for example, just off the top of my head, there's this one fellowship called CBYX, which is like the Congress Bundestag Youth Exchange, which is essentially a program that allows people from the US to go work in Germany, learn German, and learn about German culture and work for a German company, which is super cool. So if German is your gig, like, you might want to go check that out. Another really awesome program is called Fulbright. That kind of goes back into our teaching English realm, but this one is like a government funded fellowship. So I've never done it, so I'm not super experienced with it, nor do I know all the ins and outs of it, but essentially you can apply to go teach English in a certain country and the government will fund it, which is so cool. And honestly, I think some of the programs you might get a kickback of money afterwards. So that one's the Fulbright. It's super prestigious. You know, I feel like if you're applying to grad school one day, or if you're applying for a certain gig and you're like, hey, yeah, I was a Fulbright scholar, they're like, oh, look at you, okay. Whatever that means, but if you're interested in teaching English, that is definitely an option for you. Also, if you're really passionate about writing, another thing that you could do after university is join a writer's program. Either you can apply for a writing fellowship, or you could apply to be a part of like a writing commune, or a writer's retreat, whatever it may be. But if you have this desire and this burning passion to get out there and to get your work out and to learn how to become a stronger writer, but without going to a 2-year grad school program, these writing retreats and writing fellowships might be an awesome opportunity for you. And going off of the conversation of writing, there are also the creative residencies, which are pretty dope. Essentially, you just apply to these different programs, and depending on the length of the program, it might be 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year. It's essentially this little hub and community of different writers who were granted access to this program, and you can not only tighten up your skills, but usually produce enough writing to potentially have a manuscript, which is pretty awesome. On top of that, the great thing about creative writing residencies is that not only are you working on your own craft, but you're also collaborating with your peers. So you never know who might be the next writer for the New York Times, and if that person might come from your cohort of this writing creative residency. Another thing that you can do after university besides grad school is to get a grant. I know, that one is super abstract. Getting a grant could literally mean anything, but the great thing about that is that there are grants for anything and everything. So essentially, if you wanted to, you could probably get a grant to go study marine biology in Fiji, or you could get a grant for you to go purchase a farm and open up this sustainable business of this certain type of farming. With grants, the possibilities are absolutely limitless. Whatever you think you want to do, I would literally just type it into Google, like, be badass grant. No, I'm kidding. But you can actually type study Hungarian culture grant. And there are different people who are funneling money into these different projects so that they can get people like you, fresh college graduates, to get out there and to either do research, to learn more, to give back to the community, whatever it may be. Start your blog. I know. Everyone says this, like, a blog, but honestly, blogging is not dead. I will say that blogging and vlogging takes so much energy, but the return can often be amazing. So I don't know, if you had such an amazing experience in college, or if you had such a terrible experience in college and you want to give advice to other college students, you can start a blog about like the ins and outs of college or whatever the topic may be. And the great thing about it is that, you know, we often think that like everything's oversaturated, but there's always an audience for everything. Like, you're literally watching this video right now, so imagine I wouldn't have created this video because, oh, no one would watch it, but like, someone will watch it and someone will find it beneficial. So I definitely recommend after university, if you want to get your job and then at night work on your creative side hustles, like blogging or vlogging could be your next thing. You never know what could come out of it. Another thing you can do is find an international internship. There are so many websites like Go Overseas, Go Abroad, all of those that specialize in helping university students find internships abroad. Or also within the States, you never know. Sometimes you might want to just do, get a little bit of work experience in what you just studied, whether it's international or domestic. So say, for example, if you're a fashion design student, you might look up fashion design internship in Paris, and you'll be so surprised by how many opportunities come up. Of course, many of them do require you to get a visa and do other things like that, but the amount of experience that you will get from this internship is amazing. But also on top of that, you get to live abroad. Like, come on now, that's fun. Or you could also do something cool, like type in vineyard internship in Argentina or Chile, because there's so many vineyards and an amazing wine culture there. So if you're someone who wants to learn more about wine and take it seriously and maybe get into wine critiquing or wine growing or wine writing, whatever it may be, there's an internship out there for you. So at this moment in your life, like, don't think that anything's impossible, because there's always an opportunity for you. Another thing you can do is called woofing. I'm not exactly sure if that's like the only company that does it, but essentially it's volunteering at farms around the world. If you're someone who's really into nature and you want to learn more about farming and what it's like to help out on a farm, like, check out woofing, because, am I saying that right? Woofing. Check out woofing because they have opportunities all over the world. You can go work at a sheep farm in New Zealand, you can go work at a cashew farm in India, whatever it may be, but it's really exciting to learn how to harvest different things just from the earth. And especially if that's what you're into and that's what you love, just know that that's an opportunity, like, that is out there for you. You know, say like you got your degree but you're really not feeling it, you don't want to go into it, or whatever the case may be, or you just want to try new things, like, just move to a random city and find a gig. I know that sounds like, really sketchy and kind of just like, oh wait, I'm just gonna randomly move to Chicago and like become a barista, but yeah, why not? I think the important thing about our 20s is really just learning, experiencing, and growing. So no matter what you do, it will serve you and it will serve your journey somehow. So like, I don't want anyone to get super caught up on like getting that full-time job or, working in corporate America right out of university. Like, if that's what you want to do, obviously please do that. But for the people who feel like their souls are calling for something else, like, you can do whatever you want to do. Unfortunately, like, of course you're gonna have to save up a bit and you're gonna have to find a way, but You can, you know, say pick San Francisco, go to San Francisco, get a gig there, whether it be like working at a restaurant or working at a cafe, being a bartender, whatever it may be, just to see a different place, just to experience something new and to not feel the pressure of being in school or whatever else you're trying to get away from and to experience. So yeah, just once again, please remember that especially now, your 20s, your 30s, all the years are truly about growth, and there's growth in every opportunity. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you get out there and look for new things for you to try, for you to do, and just know that there are no limits on what you can do. If you find something that you're passionate about, you need to just go for it and you need to do it. Even if people are like, no, but you need to do this and go there. Mind your neck. It's your life, do what you gotta do. So stay amazing, and until next time. Also, if you like this video, please give this a subscribe and a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon.